What's up, Taiwan? How's it going? I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. The Chinese Communist Party will begin its 20th Congress in Beijing this weekend, a twice-in-a-decade meeting that this year is sent to hand President Xi Jinping a norm-breaking third five-year term. The move will make him arguably the most powerful Chinese leader since Mao Zedong. As Xi solidifies his grip on power, there's concern he will also harden his approach towards Taiwan, as James Chater now reports.
Well, I believe that every Chinese leader has said that reunification of Taiwan with the motherland is a historic mission of the Chinese Communist Party.
The big difference between Xi Jinping and his two predecessors is that Xi Jinping has tied the taking of Taiwan to the fulfillment of his so-called China dream.
祖国完全统一的历史任务一定要实现，也一定能够实现。
In mid-October, nearly 2,300 delegates from across China will attend the 20th Congress of the Chinese Communist Party, where Xi Jinping is set to take a norm-busting third term as China's president, cementing his position as the country's most powerful leader since the founder of the People's Republic of China, Mao Zedong. But as power centralizes around one man, to an extent not seen in China for decades, fears are mounting Xi may use his third term as president to ramp up pressure on Taiwan, which Beijing claims is part of China's sacred territory.
Xi Jinping changed the whole direction regarding the Taiwan policy because he has all the power in himself, that he has no constraints about what he is doing. Definitely there's a concern about what Xi Jinping, after he assumed the third term and of the CCP leadership, what he might do about Taiwan.
Chinese Communist Party congresses take place every 5 years and are the most important events in China's political calendar. At these highly choreographed meetings, the makeup of China's new government and usually the new president is decided. But this year, that's all set to change because Xi Jinping has abolished the usual 2 5-year term limits on the Chinese presidency, in effect allowing him to rule for life.
20-Party Congress is first and foremost about Xi Jinping being able to stay in power beyond the customary 10 years maximum. Once Xi Jinping has done so, he will double down on all his policies, including the policy towards Taiwan.
Xi, more than any previous Chinese president, has linked unifying Taiwan and China to securing his legacy alongside Mao as one of China's great leaders.
Under Xi Jinping, China's policy on Taiwan has been uncompromising and unilateral. So on the diplomatic front, we've seen that since 2016, Beijing has quite effectively peeled away 8 of the countries that used to recognize Taiwan. They have protested Taiwan's inclusion in international organizations. We've seen near daily intrusions into Taiwan's air defense identification zone.
Xi's authoritarian approach in China, his vision for how he wants to unify Taiwan with China, and Taiwan's commitment to protect its democracy all means the positions of Beijing and people here in Taiwan are further apart than they've ever been.
台湾人民和朝野政党的最大的共识就是捍卫主权以及我们民主自由的生活方式。这一点我们
In August, China issued its third white paper on Taiwan, in which it promised to unify Taiwan under the one country, two systems model, the same system offered to Hong Kong when it returned to Chinese rule in 1997. It means Taiwan would be Chinese territory, but retain a high degree of autonomy. But the crackdown on pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong since 2019 and erosion of freedoms under the national security law has shattered Taiwanese faith in Beijing's promises.
More and more Taiwanese people realize, okay, we cannot trust in CCP, not at all. We just cannot trust it. There's a fact that almost nobody support for the one country, two system proposal by the CCP in Taiwan now.
And on top of Taiwanese distrust of China, are deteriorating ties between China and Taiwan's most important ally and arms provider, the United States.
China has launched several ballistic missiles into water surrounding Taiwan after Beijing announced the start of live-fire military drills. The exercises come after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan
In August, Nancy Pelosi became the first US House Speaker to visit Taiwan in 25 years. Beijing responded by launching 4 days of unprecedented live-fire military drills in locations surrounding Taiwan.
The actions that Beijing took in response to Pelosi's visit were likely actions and objectives that China had wanted to pursue on Taiwan even prior to the visit. A new normal has been established in the Taiwan Strait. There is regular presence of Chinese military ships and planes crossing the median line.
Beijing said Pelosi's trip undermined America's One China policy, which recognizes Beijing and not Taipei as the sole government of China, but does not take a position on Taiwan's sovereignty. Accusations Washington denied. But recent comments by US President Joe Biden that Washington would defend Taiwan if China attacked are casting doubt over the geopolitical balance that has lasted in the Taiwan Strait for 7 decades.
I think that China continues to believe that the U.S. One China policy is evolving in a very negative direction. I'm quite pessimistic about the U.S.-China relationship. The level of distrust has not been this high in 50 years.
Those strained ties, the eradication of dissenting voices in Chinese politics, and Xi's deep sense of historical mission regarding Taiwan are exacerbating fears about the future of Taiwan's democracy after the upcoming Communist Party Congress.
After the conclusion of the 20th National Congress, Xi Jinping probably would not be constrained anymore, and then his adventures toward Taiwan could actually increase.
He's removing any kinds of constraint. So that is dangerous for sure.
Taiwan will have to be preparing itself for the date when China will simply do the unthinkable. It is coming.
Some intelligence officials have said Xi wants China's army to be ready for an attack on Taiwan by 2027, but there's still debate about an exact timeline. Regardless, one thing is certain. After the 20th Party Congress, Xi Jinping is unlikely to pull back from an already unyielding approach to Taiwan.
And we'll have special coverage of the Chinese Communist Party's 20th Congress and its implications for Taiwan right here on TaiwanPlus. Taipei Zoo's giant panda Tuan Tuan is responding well to treatment after earlier tests found lesions in his brain. Zoo caretakers say Tuan Tuan's appetite and activity levels have all returned to normal. Vets carried out tests on the 18-year-old male in late September after he suffered several epileptic seizures in August. Tuan Tuan is now on medication, and the zoo says he has not had another episode. But vets said Tuan Tuan's seizure were not caused by his brain lesions or by infection. They're still looking into other possible causes. Hundreds of endangered Blackface Spoonbills have arrived in Taiwan to spend the winter. About a dozen of the water birds were first spotted in the southern city of Tainan in early September. But over Taiwan's National Day long weekend that ended Monday, the total number jumped to nearly 500. Blackface Spoonbills breed in the summer months, mostly on islands off the Korean peninsula. In the winter, they migrate as far as Southeast Asia, with Taiwan a favorite wintering spot. There are 6 species of spoonbill, and only the blackface variety is endangered. But thanks to conservation efforts, the global population has grown to over 6,000, up almost 1,000 from last year. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of famous driver Sergio Perez driving through Mexico City's Main Avenue in his Formula One race car. I'm Ethan. Take care, and I'll see you next time.